Sports talking heads make predictions, then hope you forget about how wrong they were. But not Mackey and Judd.
Write this down.
This is the big leagues, where we own our terrible predictions.
Write that down.
And keep track of each other's batting averages. It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
With Mackey and Judd.
Yep. That's right. The most innovative segment in sports talk. At least that's what we like to think. We have a very high opinion of ourselves here, despite what our low batting averages historically would say. This is Write That Down with Mackey and Judd. We also do a football-centric version of this every Wednesday on Purple Daily. We are the only show in America that keeps track of our predictions and holds each other accountable. We're going to get our guy Toby in as the guest listener predictor, but here is how it works. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. Judd has been leading in both categories for like 2 straight years. And listeners, if you want to participate, send Declan a message through the Score North app. You can tap on the feedback tab at the bottom and just send a quick message to Declan, and we'll get you scheduled. How are you guys feeling here? You guys feeling pretty confident? A lot of things coming off the board with NBA season being over.
Yeah.
Expansion draft.
I'm not nervous, I'll say that. I feel like I can hold my lead for at least another week. So I'm not real nervous. Declan?
I know I had some things come off the board, but I think I'm trending in a good direction here. I think I see a hot summer heating up here for me at the end here.
Hot Declan summer?
Hot Declan summer, and that is
hot Dexy
kind of
summer.
been a thing. It's kind of been a thing.
Where did that start?
Oh my God!
Who started that?
Hot Dexy summer. By the way, speaking of hot summer here, boys. Burnsville Heating and Air is doing some great work with HVAC systems, giving people the air-conditioned reprieve that they need at their homes when it's 90-plus degrees, and they are hiring. So if you're looking for full-time work right now, and even if you don't live anywhere near Burnsville, so here's the perks, all right? You can work within 10 to 20 minutes of your home on job sites. You don't have to drive to Burnsville. They offer full-time, year-round positions with lots of overtime opportunities, and they're giving out up to $2,000 sign-on bonuses. Think about that. So if you're looking for work, if you're looking to transition, even if you don't have any experience when it comes to new construction HVAC installation, they're hiring entry-level apprentices. They'll train you on the job. They're hiring leads, finishers, and equipment setters. Check them out at burnsvilleheating.com and click careers. burnsvilleheating.com and click careers. All right, let's get to the accountability session here, boys. Let's waste no time. Judd Zulgad had a bunch of stuff come off the board here.
Ooh, yeah, no. Oh, I got a couple. All right.
You said the Suns will beat the Bucks in 6 games. You got it. You got the games right.
Well, I said that when
Bucks
it
in
was
6.
1-0, and I think that's when you predicted it was going to be a Suns sweep, and I said, I don't think it's going to be a sweep, but I think the Suns will win at 6.
I was hacked. Matt Dumba, you said Matt Dumba will be traded by the time the expansion draft arrives on July 21st. To this point now, results are leaking out. I haven't seen anything. Trades are frozen right now. So
that's an old one too. Old prediction from me. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
The Wild will make Capo the goaltender they protect in the expansion draft. He is unprotected, but indications are he will not be selected. You guys will do a full episode on this later. However, you did say the Twins will take a pitcher in the first round of the MLB draft.
Attaboy.
Nice job. And you said Dean Evison will be a finalist for the Jack Adams Award, which he was. That was a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Little write that down cleanup here. That was back in June. So not a bad week. 2 of 5 for Judd Zulgad.
Yeah,
All right.
that's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going the wrong direction. I told you guys Billy. Well, you have to tell me. I don't think he did, but you said Bill. I said Bill Guerin will use the word culture in his appearance on Judd's hockey show.
I think Declan used it in the question.
I used it.
Declan tried to bait him,
And I was so close to baiting him. I was so close. I almost got him to bite.
but he didn't echo or parrot the word culture back.
Nope, he did not.
All right. And then I said the Suns, I said like early in the playoffs, I think after the first round or something, the Suns will win the NBA championship. Feeling real good about that about a week ago, but alas. All right, listeners, Matt said the 2021 Finals MVP will be named Chris. However the spelling, it doesn't matter, but it'll be Chris.
Just Middleton,
Chris.
Paul. Oh, yep.
No, man. Giannis.
Oh, Jamie.
And boys, we have
Dinger.
a home run here. So Jamie predicted this is like back in March, before the playoffs, before injuries, everything. He said the Milwaukee Bucks will win the NBA Finals, and we're going to give him a home run for that.
That's a definite shot.
Nice job, Jamie. All right, Declan, a little bit of a bloodbath for you here, actually. You said Ian Poulter will finish top 15 at the Open. He finished T24. Good run for Ian, but you said Seth Rollins will win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And you said Becky Hammon will be named an NBA coach this offseason. All of the jobs have been filled.
Couple things, I think. I said Matt Dunn would be protected in the expansion draft last week. He was. That was my prediction last week.
Let's go through the official record books here. Just want to make sure that...
I said it last week. Made the prediction.
Let's see here. I have you written down from last week. Like, these are the ones that were in I'm just cutting and pasting from the document, okay? You had Seth Rollins winning the Money in the Bank. You had Ian Poulter finishing top 15 at the Open. And you have Marcus Foligno and Joel Eriksson Ek being named the next alternate captains for the upcoming season.
Was Dumba a couple weeks ago?
You have Dumba being traded this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have in the records a Matt Dumba. Judd, do you remember this prediction?
I thought I made.
No, but it doesn't mean I was paying attention.
In my not the Write That Down doc. In my doc, I always keep like the last week. Like I just have the last weeks before I replace them and then make the new ones.
Did you potentially audible off one of the ones you had written down?
I remember I think your
I
assistant or alternate captain prediction because I was so surprised by it.
Yeah. And
I think you audibled off.
Oh no! Oh, and then you tried to convince the committee in the fashion of a politician.
I asked.
Listen,
you were very confident. You basically questioned Phil. I'm gonna
I might be wrong here, but I just want to.
Remember,
I'll lay out my process. So Declan logs the predictions in a shared Google Doc. I literally on Tuesday night. Maybe a glass of wine sometimes. That's where things could get dicey. All right.
Oh, boy. We have an admission of drinking.
All right. I will cut and paste everything that's in that document into the official record-keeping spreadsheet. And the three that I cut and pasted from Declan last week were Seth Rollins, Ian Poulter, and then the Marcus Foligno, Joel Eriksson Ek predictions.
I remember that one.
Okay.
What do you have written down in your unofficial document?
That Matt Dunn will be protected in the expansion draft.
But what are the other ones you have written down? Do you have three or do you have four? Do you not have one of these written down?
No, I had the Poulter and the Rollins one written down, and I had the Dumbo written down in my doc, and I audibled and
you audibled off.
There hasn't been this type of disagreement and acrimony since Rand Paul and Fauci.
Oh my God!
So you had the scripted plays. And you deviated. This is.
And then you forgot to deviate.
I think what happened was
you are Jamie Foxx right now in Any Given Sunday, right? Like just run the plays that are called.
Oh my
okay?
God! Oh my God! And then
at least it's not Tom Selleck and Mr.
There's another one that I wanted to bring up, but there is a technicality involved that I don't want to waste more time. But because did you watch The Bachelor yet, Phil? Are you caught up?
I have not yet. No.
Okay, then never mind. Then I definitely won't say. Okay.
All right, so here's the updated batting averages. Judd Zulgad at 394 with 4 home runs. I'm at 333 with 2 home runs. Declan's at 324 with 2 home runs. Listeners have tied for the home run lead with a 4th home run, and they're hitting 313 on the season. Listeners have also taken the all-time home run lead with 13 career home runs.
Oh, my God.
Dude, I
write it down. You like writing
things
down.
I don't know what to say. Like, I just log what's in.
No.
You just work here.
I just work here. I
literally just pulled a Seattle Seahawks and decided to pass on the goal line.
Which one did you audible? What
I audible the Dumbo one.
He went to the Foligno Act prediction.
I think either Judd or a listener made an alternate captain one, and then me being out of spite, like, I'm going to put mine in there. And then I literally just...
Oh, no.
All right, let's get Toby in here. Toby is our guest listener predictor here for Write That Down. And he had the full tie on. He is now dressed down away from the full tie, but he's got the suit jacket and the collared Rick Spielman shirt here. So what's going on, Toby?
Living the dream, my friends. Great to be on. Excited.
What's the jersey behind you, Toby?
That is the one and only. I may have 100% of the ever sold inventory of the Moritz Boringer NFL Vikings jerseys.
Way to go! I love it.
My dad's name is also Gunther, and I have an umlaut in my name, which is not on the thing there. So Boringer is the second player only to have a special character on his jersey name, as far as I know. Yeah,
that is awesome.
What an amazing pull! It also it fits in line with the Mackey and Judd jersey wearing rules, where you can't wear a jersey of someone who's younger than you unless it's for funny or ironic purposes. And that would definitely fit the bill. So here's how this works. We're going to go around the room, three trips around the room. We're going to start with Toby, over to Judd, Declan, and back to me. The predictions must be quantifiable. That's pretty much the only main rule here. So Toby, why don't you lead us off? Fire away with your first prediction.
Write this down.
All right. I do like writing things down. So this is a comment about laundry. So last year, the Vikings were actually pretty good in the number of penalties that they had the entire season. So they had 93 the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
So I speculate that because of some of the offensive line changes, that in the first 6 weeks, we'll be top 10 in fewest penalties. But at the end of the season, after we straighten these things out, we'll be top 5 at the end of the season. Fewest penalties over the course of the entire 17 games this time.
So just to reiterate here, so this is a two item parlay.
Yes.
So you're saying they're going to be. Can you repeat the prediction just real quick, just so we
So they will have in the top 10 the least amount of penalties in the first before the bye week, and then at the end of the season they'll be top 5.
Okay, so they're going to start pretty well and then get really good toward the second half.
After they make some important changes to the offensive line, after the holding penalties come in full force in the first few weeks.
I think if Dakota Dozier just stays off of
that is I didn't want to say it, but that is what I'm thinking.
I think Darisaw might get called early and also probably clean it up pretty quickly. So that's a good prediction.
Judley.
All right. This one will come off the board by next Wednesday. Shohei Ohtani will hit at least 2 home runs for the Angels versus the Twins in their 4-game series that starts Thursday.
I like it.
So Ohtani will go deep at least twice in the series at Target Field, with at least being the key thing, because if he goes deep more than twice, I want the point.
Okay, I know that he's leading the league in home runs. He's got like 35 or whatever it is, but I think that's a home runs. It's a 3-game series, right?
4.
Okay.
You said
it's Thursday through Sunday.
Okay. So he's hitting like a home run every other game.
I don't know
now.
I got a self-report here. I don't know
if you said 4, I think if you said 4.
Oh yeah,
that would be a home run.
Yeah, 2. Yeah. I think 2 is fairly safe.
2 is like his pace.
He says
4
at
is
least.
4 is aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just checking.
I appreciate it.
All right, over to Declan here. Are we on script or off script here?
We're on script.
Oh,
We're on script.
I'm
going to be
so mad. I see Declan get less upset about his relationships than he does about write that down.
Which might tell you something about the length of his relationships.
Thanks, Phil.
Sorry.
People overrated. Write that down forever.
Agreed.
My first prediction. Jose Barrios will be traded at the deadline, but Byron Buxton will not be moved.
Okay.
So I'm going to say Barrios is moved, Buxton is not. So Jose Barrios will be traded at the deadline, but Byron Buxton will not be moved.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right. I'm going to go with this one. Write this down. The Wild will come to terms on a deal with Kaprizov before the start of the season. Mm-hmm. And it'll be 4 years or less guaranteed. You'd have to tell me if there's like a mutual option thing that they do in the NHL, but I'm going to say it'll be like an ironclad 4-year deal or less.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Right. So he's going to kind of get his way. The Wild would love 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Yep. He just wants to be a free agent before he's out of his prime, so they're going to compromise.
Great Ranger, Phil. He's going to be a great Ranger.
Honestly, if he gives 4 more years of, like, if you get him from age 24 through 28 or whatever, like, I'm fine with that.
And
then if he wants to go play somewhere else,
yes,
whatever.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Yep. All right, back to Toby. Your second prediction.
All right, back to the Vikings here. So last year, the total turnover ratio for the Vikes was -1. So not too shabby, about league average. So I think this year, in the no excuses motto, they are going to continue to improve upon that, and they will finish the season top 10 in turnover ratio.
Okay. All
That
right.
bodes
A
well.
lot of things adding up to a big season here for the Vikings.
Top 10 in
Toby's
turnover
great.
ratio will be very good news.
Hope springs
Write it down.
eternal.
You like writing
Vikings
things
fans.
down.
Yep.
Has
All right.
to.
Judd, your second prediction.
Okay, with the expansion draft now, and a lot of people in the NHL talking about how can the Seattle Kraken be the next Vegas Golden Knights who made the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year, you can write this down. The Seattle Kraken, Phil's team, will not make the playoffs this coming season.
Love how you're trying to force this team on me, just geographically.
Well, they're right there. You're within walking distance of the building.
I'm now a huge Washington State. Is it the Cougars? Sorry, Gophers.
Yeah.
They're
Sorry.
a new team. You could turn over a new hockey leaf. But anyway, Dex, the Kraken will not make
Got
the
it.
playoffs this season.
All you got,
I like their logo. It's a cool logo.
you and Katie Thurston just going to Kraken games. You're living my best life out there, Phil.
Yeah.
You're living
Listen,
my best
Katie,
life
the
out there.
Bachelorette Katie does tend to comment on my TikTok videos. So
Yeah,
Thank you,
I saw
because I was
that.
going to ask
That's
who is Katie Thurston. Thanks for telling
Oh,
me.
she's the
man.
Bachelorette. The Declan
Write
is
it down.
in
You
love
like
with.
writing things down.
I'm in love
Declan
with.
and every other man in America is in love with
Yeah,
her.
yeah, big fan, big
All
Katie
right,
guy.
Dex, your second prediction.
All right, I also have a Kaprizov prediction. Phil almost had it word for word, but I have it a little different here. Kirill Kaprizov and the Minnesota Wild will agree to a contract of exactly 5 years. So they have a 5-year contract. So Kirill Kaprizov and the Minnesota Wild will agree on a contract of exactly 5 years.
Okay. I think if that happens, is it a home run? I mean, you're nailing the number
Yes,
of years
I
here.
think
It's a
so.
home run.
I think
so.
it's-
Judd.
Yeah, I think if we start making predictions that get the years or the dollars, for instance, right,
yeah.
that could be because we're now probably very smartly quantifying things by saying 5 years or more, 5 years or less.
Yep.
So I think if you come out and do what Declan just did, that now qualifies as a definite home run.
Yep.
You're nailing it.
with a few exceptions
Sure.
if there's obvious cases, but yes, 100%.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, write this down. I'm sitting here. You guys may think that this is just water in this Dave & Buster's cup that I'm holding here. It is Timberwolves Kool-Aid, actually, that I'm drinking right now. And I will tell you,
Vodka and what else then?
And Kool-Aid.
I literally just emptied. It's just like it's basically just a wop here. Combined, it's wine. It's 4 different alcohols, and it's the Timberwolves blue and gray colors.
All right.
Write this down. The Timberwolves will win a playoff game next year. The Wolves will win, I would say, at least a playoff game, and that doesn't count the play-in. I'm talking about the playoffs. All right.
Okay.
So they will win, if they have to go through the play-in, that's great, but they will win at least a playoff game next year.
How can you make that prediction and not fire Ode to Joy? Thank you. Thank you.
There you go. Sorry. I mean, it's such a low bar, I guess, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. It's kind of where we're at here. All right, back over to Toby. Your final prediction, sir.
All right. At the end of the season, the Vikes will follow the rule of tens. They will have at least 10 wins. They will be a top 10 offense, and they will be in the top 10 defensively.
There's a home run.
Yeah, and I think if they are top 10 offense, defense, and they don't get to 10 wins, then the special teams must be just an absolute garbage fire.
Yes.
So we'll see.
You just put together, Toby, what is basically the formula for a good playoff team, right?
Yeah.
Between the penalties not being high,
I think
wins, all
exactly.
those
If they
things.
can do everything well, they don't have to be great at
Correct.
some things, but everything would just be solid and steady. That's
Correct.
kind of, I think, the Zimmer mentality.
Yeah. And just be good enough to get in and then get trounced in the second round, right? That's all we really
What are you
want here in
doing?
Minnesota. Just
What
be
are you-
good enough to get
what are you
in,
doing? Why are
get
you
trounced.
doing
We don't have any aspirations to be great. Let's raise the bar. All right, Toby, nice job on these predictions. Since you've got this life-changing platform here right now on Mackey and Judd, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that brought you to this point?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife, Lisa, for putting up with my depression / anger / destruction of furniture, ceiling tile, through various,
Whoa.
years of the Vikings. So for her support, and to my dogs who tolerate me, yelling, because they get very scared when I yell at the TV.
What's the most impressive thing that that a sports loss in this town has made you break?
I had a stick in my hand, and when Cook had the Pop-Tart fumble against the Saints, which actually wasn't a fumble, you know what I'm talking about, it like pops in the air.
Yep.
I like took the stick and started banging it against the ground, but on the backswing, I actually hit the ceiling tile and damaged the ceiling. So that was the most destructive I was. So
I love
just
it.
a few $1,000s in home repair. Don't worry about
The
it.
man wears a tie, okay? He can afford those repairs.
Clearly, he wears a tie. He must have $1 billion to damage homes because of Minnesota sports. All right, Toby, great stuff. We'll get you on again sometime, and we appreciate your swings here today, man.
thanks so much. Great show, guys. Really enjoy listening to you guys.
Thanks,
All right,
man.
Thank you. That's Toby,
Write this down.
guest listener Toby.
The Mobo
the
is-
Moritz Boringer jersey in the
that's-
background.
That's coming
great.
to the show
Prime,
with
dude.
something.
Yes.
Love to see that.
All right, Judd, your final prediction here.
So, Rocco Baldelli, Derek Falvey, and Thad Levine, in my opinion, are all safe. Like, I don't think they're going to be fired. But this Twin season has been such a colossal disaster. And I know a few months ago I made a prediction about the hitting coach, which has not come to fruition yet. But I got to think that somebody's going to pay the price here. Like, you're not just sort of bad. You're awful.
Dude, they are so indifferent. They feel it just, we'll just make excuses and ride this out and lose. All right.
I'm going to
cool.
start with this one. I think it's a hot take. I ran past Jake Depew on Talking Twins on Monday, but I want it written down, damn it. Wes Johnson will not return as the Twins pitching coach next season. Somebody's got to take the fall for this. And that pitching staff has been really disappointing. The bullpen's awful. So Wes Johnson will not return as the Twins pitching coach next season.
All right.
Okay.
Got someone's
Write this down.
someone's got to be held accountable for this garbage pitching situation. Okay, Declan, your final prediction.
Yeah, I will make a Twins one as well. Brent Rooker will be called up by the Twins by the end of the month. Brent Rooker's been destroying baseballs in St. Paul the last month and a half, and I think he's going to get called up. Is it Larnach's just been kind
It's
of
been pretty bad, yeah.
been kind of a disaster. I know Diving Jake might be the more likely one to get called up, but as my fandom for Brent Rooker, who I wanted out of the team out of spring training, and my also disdain for Diving Jake, I will say Brent Rooker will be called up by the Twins by the end of the month.
Lamont Wade Jr. jacked another one for the Giants last night. He's got like an 850
been
OPS.
great.
Plays center field as needed.
Yep.
Didn't need him. Journeyman pitcher Sean Anderson, who's been with 9 teams this season. Nice trade. I'm not bitter at all.
Write this down.
After the Bucks won a championship last night, as I examine our Minnesota sports teams. All right, my final prediction is presented by our friends at Dennis Kirk, because sometimes I just got the urge to hop on a bike and ride far away from Minnesota sports, as much as I love them. And Dennis Kirk, whatever you ride, a Harley, a Metric Cruiser, a sport bike, you'll find what you need at DennisKirk.com. They've got 160,000 parts and accessories in stock, clothing and helmets as well. And if you order by 8 p.m., they ship the same day, and shipping is free for orders over $89. When the open road calls, head to DennisKirk.com. All right, final prediction. It's been a while since I've made a Bachelorette prediction, and I do owe it to Declan, who has a prediction of his own that I will whiff on at least 5 Bachelor-related predictions. I want to take the swings. I want to get to the qualified amount of plate appearances here. Now, I have not seen this week's episode, so you can stop me if I'm already right or wrong on this. But by the time I don't think it would have played out at all this way yet. But by the time we get to the end of this season,
Okay.
so to set this up, ordinarily the formulaic way this goes is there are 2 guys left at the end. Both are dressed up to get married, and they both at separate times walk down the aisle, so to speak, and stand in front of the Bachelorette, and then she rejects the first one and then marries the second one, right? I'm going to say, write this down. The end of this season will not play out in that fashion. I don't know how it will play out, but it will not play out in the standard Bachelor-Bachelorette formulaic fashion where there are 2 guys remaining. They both walk down the aisle in their outfits. Something will happen that sort of prevents that from happening.
Yeah. I guess how I wrote that down is the end of the Bachelorette season will not play out with 2 guys walking down the aisle. That's kind of, is that fine?
Yep. And then we can debate.
quantifiable?
We can debate
Okay.
if there's some.
Yeah.
If there's
I think
some
you and I can.
gray
You and I
areas
can.
here.
Yeah.
I'm
You and
gonna
I
sit
can
this one
kind of.
out.
Yeah, Judd can sit that one out.
I'm sitting this one out. Bye, guys.
Yeah, there's two Bachelor predictions that I thought could have come off the board for this week. One of them is a spoiler that would potentially involve for you not seeing this week's episode. And then with Paradise now starting and that cast mostly all ensembled, I thought I made one with, I forget who the horrible person was on The Bachelor, the girl that like had the crown and the queen.
Oh, that gal, yeah. She was super high maintenance.
She was awful, but she's on Paradise. I know she's on Paradise.
Oh,
so
good. That'll be fun.
I thought I said she'd be on Paradise, but yes,
that'll be a
Bachelorette,
blast.
man. I'm excited.
She had like a sty on her eye for the last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
She had like a growth on her eye. It's just kind of.
I was convinced she was a producer. And actually, she very well
probably
still could
was. Be. Yeah.
Probably still was.
All right, boys. Let's dive in here real quick to the